gonna start chewing this at the wrong time.
Yeah, really. You have coffee?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Did you read it? Did you read it? Did you read it?
So we're live on Facebook. We're live.
Hmm.
Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going down that well. Okay. Oh, you're doing it. Hi, how are you? Very well. Dr. Turpin, I heard, was putting on the air there for us.
I just turned it on,
Oh, okay.
and I set it at 72. It was at 80 or something. When,
Maybe we should open the doors then, so we can.
it's coming. Be patient. But it was definitely off, so I turned it on. 5 minutes ago.
Okay, thank you.
He had an emergency, he's gonna be a little late.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to call to order the Pontiac Charter Revision Commission meeting for Thursday, August 25th. Roll call, please.
Burrows, Garrett, Killian,
Yes.
Payne,
Present.
Ramsey,
Present.
Stewart, Turpin,
Here.
Williams,
Present.
Ibarra.
Present.
Madam Chair, you do have a quorum.
Thank you. I would like to excuse Commissioner Garrett, Scott, and Burrows for personal reasons.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Roll call, please.
Killian,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Stewart. I'm sorry. Turpin,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ibarra.
Yes.
That's 6-0.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
No.
I move for us to approve the agenda as is.
Oh. Oh, I move. Oh, can you move?
Payne moved, Turpin second. Roll call, please.
Killian,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Turpin, Williams,
Yes.
Ibarra.
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes.
Move.
Second.
It's been moved by Williams, second by Killian. Roll call, please.
Payne,
Yes.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Turpin,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ibarra,
Yes.
Killian.
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you. So the only item that we have on the agenda is the discussion of the establishments of rules and committees for the commission. I believe last month we stopped.
Page 2.
Yes.
Uh,
With the quorum for voting. No,
B,
B.
vice chairperson.
So we talked about, I think we finished. Oh, hold on.
Oh, yes.
I just put August 25th.
Yeah.
Vice chair. Yes.
So the vice chair.
Mm-hmm.
All right, does anyone have anything on the vice chair?
I was, Lucy,
Go ahead, Commissioner
I,
Green.
I was wondering if we should change that to co-chair.
I think the positions that the charter has is
Is vice.
chairperson and vice chair.
Okay, then we'll leave that alone.
Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Last month, we voted on each one, correct?
Yeah, you're done with chair and vice chair. Yes.
Okay. So the next one is the commission clerk. The deputy city clerk or another designated staff member from the office of the city clerk by the city clerk shall serve as the clerk of the Charter Revision Commission. The duties of the commission clerk are as follows. The commission clerk shall prepare the agenda for the meetings of the commission. The commission clerk will call the roll for all votes of the commission and record each vote. Shall be responsible for keeping record of the commission's activities. Shall be responsible for maintaining the minutes. Shall file the approved minutes of each commission meeting in the office of the city clerk. And shall cooperate and assist the city freedom of information. And cooperate and assist the city Freedom of Information Act officer in responding to requests for information in accordance with the Michigan Freedom of Information Act. Are we good with all of those things?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
So does anyone move to vote on this?
I move it.
A second. That's 1 through 6, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Turpin,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ibarra,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you. The next one would be committees. The standing committees of the commission shall consist of the following. Rules and Planning Committee to oversee compliance of the rules and prepare changes in the rules. B would be Outreach Committee to organize the presentation during the community engagement phase of the commission for consideration and approval by the whole body. And Personnel to interview candidates and firms that will provide contractual services to the commission and make recommendations on the selection of candidates and firms for consideration of the whole body.
So just to confirm that we're going to be establishing 3 committees.
That's the recommendation. If we want to establish more, we can, less, or change the names of them and the duties of the committee.
I would just like to recommend maybe, I see that the Rules and Planning Committee would seem like making sure that the Charter Commission is established in terms of day-to-day operations, if you will. And that's just me, just from reading the title, that's just how I feel that committee should run. But maybe what if there could be a committee exploring different opportunities for the community of Pontiac, things that are unnormal to the day-to-day operations as we see.
Can you go into detail about that, please?
So just inviting new ideas into the Charter Commission rather than just polishing what's already there. I see the Rules and Planning Committee as more of a polish to the charter, and we should establish a committee to where it can explore new and original ideas for the charter, for the City of Pontiac's charter.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes,
Commissioner
Madam
Payne.
Chair, on this item, I just put down that detail the role, go into a little bit more depth of what the expectation of the role
Okay, for each role?
for each role, yes. For outreach personnel, all the 3.
All right. Clerk Doyle.
Could I mention something?
Please.
So in the course of having your meetings, in an effort to engage the community, what we did the last time was we tried to find locations where we could take the meetings to a public venue. And so, you announce it, and you get out there, and hopefully some people will come to participate in the proceedings and to ask the questions that, that may be considered or may not be considered. But, the onus is on us as a group to make ourselves accessible to the public in a variety of ways that are out there. Because it's excuse the expression, it's almost like pulling teeth to get out there and get the public engaged in what we're doing. So, but it is worthy of an effort. And so as an outreach committee, perhaps that would be their role, to find venues that we feel that we could get enough interest to have participation.
Thank you. Clerk Doyle, Commissioner Payne would like you to expand on the description.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That's for the commission to determine.
Right.
So you would just need to, how detailed you want the descriptions of the committees to be. I would just like to respond to Commissioner Ybarra. The rules commit was just for the rules that you are currently working, in essence, on, not necessarily what revisions that you would actually make to the charter. If you want to add a committee for that or determine how you want to go about that, that wasn't really the purpose of this committee.
Okay, so my question is, we're doing this right now, right? So you're, by putting this in there, the assumption was that we would have made this a committee and they would have met and then come back and then explained it to us.
No, Madam Chair, that if once you finalize this if you want to make changes
Okay.
to the document,
Point
then the committee would, in
Okay.
essence,
Thank you.
refer that to committee.
Commissioner Williams?
Yeah, I would like to propose that we have a research committee in order to be able to send ideas or other things after we get feedback from the community to actually look into it. And then the second point on the Rules and Planning Committee, one of the things that I was adamant about at the last meeting was that the metrics and the rubric for picking replacements were spelled out and then came back to this body as approved. And I think those kind of things would go to the Rule and Planning Committee.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Killian?
Yes, to come back on what Commissioner Williams said, yeah, I do believe that was one of my things. Do we need a marketing like research and find out what the citizens are actually looking for in the community? So I commend him on that one. The other one, are we gonna have a particular number of members in these committees? Or is it just we pick, or a couple of them choose? So are we, get what I'm asking? Are
Yes.
we gonna say, hey, okay, there's 2 people for each committee, because it's 9 of us, correct?
Yes.
Does it involve outside people?
So I think the committees are an internal thing. I think we can decide how many people are on there. I would suggest 3, so that there's a odd number, so that if we need to make any votes or if people have anything, like, it can, well, they don't vote in committee. No?
It's up to you to determine if you want to vote in committees or not, or just to make recommendations to the full body.
Yeah, so committees have usually been making recommendations and bringing it back to the full body.
Okay.
So I do think we should have, we shouldn't have a large number, because then it would require people to be on multiple ones, even though that's still probably gonna be the case.
Okay, so do we want to explore setting a number on each committee, or we just wanna keep it as, okay, if you join, you join?
I would like to see that we do, but I would like to get through what the committees will be first.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
makes sense.
I also agree with the research, but I would like to know if you would be open to doing research and policy.
Yes.
All right.
So I will amend my motion to add policy to the name for the committee. So Research and Policy Committee would
And
be my
can we
motion.
define the description of it?
So we're adding another committee.
Well, that's
That's
the
the motion.
recommendation, that's the motion on the floor.
Yeah. So the Research and Policy Committee would be tasked with 3 things. 1, recording or documenting the feedback from residents and charter members. 2, looking for ideas from other charters or other communities. And then 3, recommending to the whole body the feasibility of any potential changes.
So,
And I'm open to anything else that could be added to it.
Commissioner
so
Payne.
that sounds like that instead of creating, and then I agree with what you're saying, Commissioner, but I was wondering if that would go under outreach and putting research as a duty, as a function for the committee, outlining, because rules and planning, I just think that if you're doing a rules and planning committee, that you should spell out what a person's doing so that they'll know what their job is. And I think if we were just go and do rules and planning committee and then see what we want the rules and planning commissions to do. A, this is what they're due. B, this is what they're responsible for. C, this is what they're responsible for. And D. Then when we get over to outreach, I think one of the things, research and task, and spell that out, because that is what you've actually talked about is, to me, that's what I'm reading into it, is that it is an outreach to the public, to the community, to our residents.
Commissioner Williams.
Yeah, just to respond to Ms. Payne, the reason that I said research was because of Commissioner Ybarra's point about bringing new ideas and other things. The people who may be on the outreach committee may simply be tasked with setting up a meeting at the Bowen Center, which has nothing to do with saying that we want to make graduated income tax a part of the charter. And so those may be two different things. Now, committees can be combined, they can be ad hoc, but I think that if we spell out that people are supposed to be doing research and bringing it back to the body, that's going to be more helpful than outreach, because some of the outreach people may have to be tasked with making the flyer for the actual event or doing that kind of thing. And that's a different skill set than somebody who's going to actually go and read what Detroit did on their charter versus Pontiac's charter or whatever. And they may want to sit the time, and we may want to use these committees to refer some things to those committees. And so if somebody comes to the microphone and says we should do X, we can then send it to that committee and they can look at best practices. That's not necessarily outreach, because they didn't have to go anywhere. People came to us. They came to City Hall. So I don't think that's necessarily outreach and engagement. That's more so a separate task. And so I would like to bifurcate it just so we'll be clear that their job is to do research, and those recommendations that come from that committee don't get interchanged with what the outreach is, because we can only vote as a body. If the body decides that the idea for X is not what we want to do, we still may need to have some research in regards to that. But the public will hear that we voted 6-3 in order to do X, and so this is what will be in our charter document, if that makes sense to you, Ms. Payne.
I guess I'm looking at adding committees when you can fold them in the three that we have by putting tasks with those committees. That's all I'm saying.
And I'll just say this and I'll be done. If we have 3 people on the committee, if we fold all these tasks into that committee, then we're putting work on those
But you
people.
have 3 committees that you can
what-
fold those tasks into.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So the motion on the floor is to add a research and policy committee. And Kermit, I'm gonna need you to tell me the third one again. Is recording feedback from community and commissioners, research ideas from other communities, and
Then I think it was report back to,
Feasibility with any changes.
the
Okay.
feasibility for the changes. Thank you, Deputy Clerk. I appreciate you.
okay. Is there a second?
A second.
A second.
All right, so it was moved by Williams and second by Killian. Can we have a vote, please?
Turpin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Ibarra.
Yes.
Killian.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Ramsey.
Yes.
6-0.
All right, so we now have a research and policy. So the outreach, once again, is to organize the presentations during community engagement phase of the commission for consideration and approval of the whole body. So this means making sure that we have a space, making sure we have an agenda, making sure flyers are made, doing outreach, facilitating or co-facilitating or finding individuals to co-facilitate it, and then bring all of that information back to us. Are we good with that?
Okay, so you're putting the definition of the outreach there.
Well, that's the outreach committee. That would be to organize the presentations during the community outreach phase.
I thought you said something else too.
Well, it was
Added
doing
what the-
everything that goes up to that point.
Okay, well, that's what I was saying, entering that in here. You know, all those things that you said would be great to go under there.
So I hesitate doing that because if we miss something and then it's like, well, you didn't say that that was a part of my role. It is just, this is a part of the whole thing.
Okay,
Right, so when we talk about rules and planning, to oversee the compliance of the rules. So whatever that means, like that is the role of the individuals who would be in the Rules and Planning Commission.
okay, well, I'm just used to steps and processes and under, when you're doing something, you spell it out so the person can have no questions about, what their roles are. That's,
I understand, thank you.
yeah.
Commissioner Williams?
I was just going to make a suggestion that after the committees meet, they can then come back to the body as a whole and we can improve their scope of work,
Okay.
if that makes sense to
You
everybody.
know what? I like that better, is get your chairs and then have those meetings and then come up with the roles that you're going to be doing, and then that way everyone will know yeah. Okay, I like that.
Okay, so that's gonna have to be a motion, but before we do that, are we okay with the outreach committee and personnel committee? Does anybody wanna add another committee? Are we good with these as they are?
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so where would the support for flyers and computer graphics and all of that come in at? What committee does that go under? Graphics or
What
flyers?
will we be
and
doing the graphics for?
the presentations that you're going to be doing for the outreach? Yeah,
I believe it would go under the outreach committee.
okay. So that would be a role that they're going
Yes.
to be. And that's what I was meaning by spelling it out, because I would not have known that.
Okay, and once again, once we decide if these will be the committee, then Commissioner Williams can put his recommendation, motion on the floor to have it where we
Like
can
that.
define
Mhm.
after the meeting, after the
Okay,
committee's meeting.
I like that. So would we say then with these is to be, and that would go into the minutes as we're going to expound upon the roles? Or-
Yes, so we would approve the committees, A, B, C, and D.
Right.
And then Commissioner Williams will make a motion to expound on it once the committee.
Oh, okay, okay, understood, thank you.
Commissioner Williams.
Oh, I thought you were gonna make a motion for A and B, so we can do that. You said-
Okay.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so can we have a motion for the approval of A, B, and C?
I make a motion.
Are we approved? Oh, go ahead.
A, B, and C.
Roll
committees.
call, please.
Oh,
Who was that second?
A, B, C, and then that, he just said a D.
We've already voted on that one.
Okay, but is it on here like, okay. All right, good,
Okay.
thank you.
Turpin, Williams,
Yes,
Ibarra,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes,
Ramsey.
Yes.
6-0.
So we have approved the Rules and Planning Committee, the Outreach Committee, and the Personnel Committee. The Research and Policy Committee has been added as well.
okay. Now I make a motion that after the committees meet, they will further define the scope of work for each committee and bring it back to the body to be voting on as a whole.
second.
It's been moved by Williams and second by Payne. Roll call, please.
Williams,
Yes,
Ibarra,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes,
Ramsey,
Yes.
Turpin. 6-0.
Thank you.
was there a question with Turpin? Was there a question with Tifa not feel comfortable?
Did you have a question?
My point was that basically the committee's job is to bring back to us, for us to decide. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, speak louder.
The committee's purpose is to be able to delve into whatever issue may be at hand and then report back to us as the whole for a vote. I don't know why, that is what they do. We're voting to make sure that they do what they're supposed to do. That was my point.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Commissioner Killian wanted to put a motion on the floor about the number of individuals that can be in the committee.
Oh, I was just putting that out for discussion, however, so I wanted to hear if we do feel like we need one. Under our discussion, what was said, I don't think we need one. So I will, if the motion was put upon myself, I will retract it.
Okay, no, so you don't, Is there, should we have a number? I don't know.
That's what I was.
I know that.
Anything more than two really
What-
is considered a committee.
But then if everybody wants to be on the research and policy, everybody can't be on the research and policy. Because that would violate the Open Meetings Act unless we would make it another meeting. So, Commissioner Williams?
Yes, can we just say less than a quorum?
Yes.
I mean, I'll make a motion that we would say less than a quorum, and then that way, because it may be something that only two people want to do.
Yes.
You want me to revise it or you want to make the motion?
Well,
You-
I'll revise it to make it less than a quorum.
Okay.
I'll second it.
So there's a motion on the floor from Commissioner Killian to have attendance be less than a quorum of the commissioners. And it was seconded by Williams. Roll call.
Ibarra,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Turpin,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
So the committee creation and assignment, the chair shall have the authority to establish such additional committees, subcommittees, and advisory task force as deemed necessary, subject to approval of the commission. The chair shall be authorized to appoint persons to preside over and serve on such committees, subcommittees, or did I say that already? Subcommittees or advisory task force as deemed necessary by the chairperson, unless rescinded by commissioners in accordance with the provisions of this section. Any commissioners may attend meetings of a committee, subcommittee, or task force despite being assigned to such, and may present ideas for consideration. Only assigned commissioners may vote on committee matters. For any commissioners appointed as co-chairs, they shall work together cooperatively and delineate each person's responsibilities among themselves or within the committee. Is there a motion to approve the committee creation / assignment?
Question. Would we want to vote or volunteer that as opposed to the chair's authority to appoint?
Is that what you're?
I mean, I'm wondering, is that something that we would prefer to do? And then that way you get, I mean, because we don't really know all of our skills or what we're really good at or
Commissioner
not
Williams.
good at. Or,
Yeah, I hear what Commissioner Payne is saying. I would think that we would keep the language the same, and then hopefully the chair would ask for recommendations to committees if people want to serve on it, and then create that list out of that, because everybody might not want to be on personnel, but we need 3 people or whatever people to make that committee happen. And so I would leave it to that discretion. But to that point, I think people should be able to self-volunteer to the chair on what committee they want to be on.
I agree.
so how do we change that? But that language does need to be changed then, if that's what I'm hearing on.
I don't necessarily think it needs to be changed. I think this is just boilerplate language that is used in most charters. And so it would be up to me as the coach, as the chairperson, to make sure that I ask individuals if they want to participate on a committee and not self-select myself.
Oh, well, I guess I was thinking that in doing this, this would serve as a guideline for the next charter commissioners, so that they would have something that is understandable to work with doing their, as the other charter has given us here. Oh, but this is not the charter, this is
Just the rules.
rules, okay. Okay,
Is there a motion to accept this? Thank you. Motion by Ibarra. Second by Killian.
is that discussion, did I? Okay.
Now will be the time for discussion.
Okay, so you don't think that we should say, in the first sentence, the chair shall have the authority to appoint or, something about volunteer?
You
No.
can make a motion, but you would need to have the language that you
Oh,
would want to
okay.
have.
Excuse me.
Okay,
The second sentence says the chair shall be authorized to appoint persons to preside over or serve. So it's in the language already.
Yeah.
well, but the volunteer part is not, well, I guess I'll leave it as it is, no problem.
So we have a motion on the floor. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Killian,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes,
Ramsey,
Yes.
Turpin,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ibarra.
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you. The next one is the chair shall be a non-voting ex officiato member of all committees, except where the chair is appointed as a chair of a committee. That would be me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you?
Are we good with that? Is there a motion on the floor?
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Discussion? Williams?
Yeah, just want to discuss for the audience, the reason that's there is because ultimately whatever comes out to the committee will then go to the body as a whole. And so if the chair is able to make the impact in the committee, then it would never get to the whole body. So it's just good best practices to have some checks and balances in place.
Thank you. Payne?
I guess, Madam Chair, that is my point. This should be in more detail, as opposed of, I don't know, I'll, with what, Commissioner, Williams just said, and he really, expound on what this means. And, well, okay, that's okay.
All right, so it has been moved by Williams and second by Turpin. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Killian,
Yes.
Payne,
No,
Ramsey,
Yes.
Turpin,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ibarra.
Yes.
5-1.
Thank you. Committee business. Committees shall meet at least once per month, and all meetings shall be properly noticed in accordance with the Open Meeting Act. Committee chair shall submit committee reports to all committee proceedings, to the full commission not less than monthly. All committee reports recommending action or making recommendations for revision to the charter shall be in writing and distributed with the full commission meeting agenda to all commissioners at least 48 hours prior to the next commission meeting. Is there a motion?
motion.
A second? It's been moved by Payne and supported by Ibarra. Any discussion? I move for a vote, please.
Killian,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes,
Ramsey,
Yes.
Turpin,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ibarra.
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you. Meetings, place and time. The commission shall establish a regular meeting schedule of the commission, which shall be held no less frequently than 1 meeting per month, unless otherwise determined by the majority of the commissioners present. Meetings shall be conducted at a place and time in accordance with the applicable law. Notice of meetings will be provided to the public as required by law. And I believe we've already set our meeting to monthly, the third Thursday of each month. Fourth, thank you. Fourth Thursday of each month, to be held in city council chambers, at City Hall from 6 until.
Moved.
Moved by Williams, second by Killian. Discussion, Payne?
I think one Commissioner Turpin just spoke of us going out. Now, all the meetings are expected to be televised? And
So,
how will we go out if they're going to be televised?
so the commission meetings would be held here. The outreach session would be different. The community engagement
Okay.
would be separate from our regularly held meetings.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
Just a quick question in terms of our listening sessions. Would they be considered a quorum if all of us were to attend a listening session meeting on a special Saturday?
Williams?
Yes, that would be a quorum, but we can post that if everybody plans on attending. But we already had some commissioners that mentioned they may not be able to go out to those meetings.
Copy that. Thank
I
you.
think that was the discussion we had last week in general.
It was. And I think, like, with those listening sessions, we just should assume that there will be a quorum and just properly advertise and place them. So with the meeting place and time, we have a move by Williams, support by Killian. Any more discussion? Can we have a vote, please?
Payne,
Yes?
Ramsey,
Yes.
Turpin,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ibarra,
Yes.
Killian.
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you. Special meetings of the commission may be called by not less than 5 commissioners, or as may be otherwise provided by law, and with not less than 14 days' notice. Any request for a special meeting by commissioners must state the purpose of the proposed meeting in the initial meeting notice. Can I have a move?
Move.
Moved by Payne.
Support.
Was that Ibarra? All right, thank you. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, I will call for the vote.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Turpin,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ibarra,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
6-0.
Meeting rules shall be conducted according to Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, 11th edition. Let's see if that's which one I got. Let's say 11th. Subject to any provisions to the contrary set forth in these bylaws or applicable by law, or any procedures or policies governing commission operations as may be established by a majority vote of the commission from time to time.
Moved.
Moved by Williams, support by Turpin. Any discussion?
Question.
Yes.
Now, are these rules or procedures? I mean, are these bylaws or procedures? These are bylaws?
They're rules. I mean, we can change the
what are-
bylaws to rules.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Are we gonna go up, is this the 11th edition, the latest edition?
I believe it is. 11th edition.
Using it nowhere, I'm like, I'm learning this
I mean,
process,
right,
sir.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure, are we gonna go off that particular what was said here, or
So do you want to just strike the language to say,
just say the latest edition?
is that what you're trying to say, Ms. Skilling?
I'm asking.
No,
Discussion,
yeah.
yes. That is a question.
I guess my answer is I'm struggling to keep up with any Robert's rules in the first place. So if it's the 11th or the 14th edition, does it matter? But if you would like to say the most updated one, then I can find out if this is the most updated one and then try to use it.
Yes, because, and the reason why I said that, because, you know, once there's another edition, there's added language or something of that edition has been added to it. So there may be something in the latest edition that is not in the 11th.
Okay, so can we strike the 11th and put most updated edition? Okay.
I amend my motion to say that because I think I'm the one who made the motion.
You are, thank you. So the amended motion would be to change newly revised 11th edition to newly revised edition, whichever one that would be. Who seconded
Would that be
that?
latest?
Mr. Turpin.
I didn't know there were
Question.
additions. I thought it was just one thing.
Mr. Turpin second.
Thank you. I know that there are, because I recently ordered this one, the cheat sheet. And it's supposed to be the most updated one, but I don't know which update this is. So the current motion is to change 11th to updated. We have a move by Williams and a support by Turpin. Any other discussion? Payne?
Oh, I was just gonna ask a question in regards to updated or, what did, Commissioner Gillian had latest, so updated. We're gonna take that.
You okay with updated or latest?
Mr. Commissioner Williams set the motion.
It's discussion.
Yeah, no, I get that. So what would you like the language to say?
Oh, updated is fine to me. I just thought,
Okay.
I didn't hear what the final, did you say
That was,
updated?
it was updated.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't.
So can you read that paragraph, please?
I can. Meetings shall be conducted according to Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, updated edition, subject to any provisions.
Oh, that's what it was. I didn't hear updated in the first reading of it. Thank you.
Any more discussion?
I call for the vote.
Call for the vote, please.
Turpin,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ibarra,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Ramsey.
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you. Meeting conduct of commissioners. The commission chair shall preside over meetings of the full commission. In her absence, the vice chair shall assume such duties where he will serve as acting chair of the meeting. In the absence of both the chair and vice chair, the commission shall select a person to serve as acting chair through majority vote of the persons present. If no commissioner is selected by majority rule, then the commissioner with the most votes in a I'm sorry, I cannot see good today. Plurality shall serve as acting chair. Is there a motion to accept? Is there a motion on the floor for this?
I'll move it.
Support.
Moved by Williams, supported by Ibarra. Any discussion?
Question.
Yes.
Are you doing the whole section A, B, or just that paragraph?
We just gonna do the paragraph.
Okay.
It's on your chair.
Roll call.
Turpin,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ibarra,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Ramsey.
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you. A, the chair of each committee shall preside over meetings of that committee. In his or her absence, the committee shall determine the person to preside over the meeting as the meeting chair. Oh, move.
Support.
Oh, no, can I get a motion on the floor?
I motion.
Thank you.
Support.
Thank you. Discussion?
So will each of the committees have, co-chairs?
Yes. I think we can make that decision. Commissioner
Okay.
Williams?
I think that you should leave it because if we have co-chairs and there's only 2 people at the meeting, then who chairs the meeting if they're both co-chairs? Just from a logistic standpoint.
Can you say that again?
So if me and Commissioner Payne are both co-chairs of the planning and policy meeting, or the planning and rules meeting, then there's no decision. I mean,
There's only one chair.
if there's
One chair, one co-chair. It's two.
She wants a chair and a co-chair. And if it's 2 people, then one of y'all the chair and the other one the co-chair.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Oh, that brings up a good point, too.
Well,
Question, because now, what Commissioner Williams said, okay, if it's 3, you got a chair and a co-chair. The chair doesn't be there. Now you have 2 people in the same position.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll be having more than two on it, which really shouldn't be an even number anyway.
But I think that speaks to the point on why the language is what it is.
yes.
So we wouldn't get bogged down in that. So, I mean, anybody should be able to chair a subcommittee meeting because they're not going to be deliberating on anything. So I don't know if we need that level of sophistication, Commissioner Payne. I'm just saying, just for reality. What if none of the chair people show up and then they have to call 2 other commissioners that are not chairs of the committee? Then who presides over the meeting? They got to pick between themselves, right? So why put additional language that may hamper the process?
Excuse me. And the likelihood of there being a meeting if none of the people could attend is pretty dim.
Yeah.
You just postpone the meeting until somebody can be there to run it. So it's not gonna have a meeting and nobody can be there. So it's really a moot point.
Well, I would agree with that, Dr. Turpin, but we just passed on the last page, if we go back, we said that each of these committees were going to meet once a month, and we didn't put a provision for canceling meetings or anything else in there. I'm just
It's
saying.
going to happen.
We need to make a document and put motions in there in order to fix whatever we're doing. So we voted as a whole to say that once a month, there's going to be a meeting of all of these committees. If we want to put additional language in there to change that, then somebody needs to offer a motion with that language to say that there's cancellation, or there needs to be a section at the end of this document that talks to that. But right now, there's nothing in what we just voted on that speaks to the scenario that you brought up, which is a real life scenario, but it's nothing in the document that says that. We just know because we've been in meetings before.
The document can't cover every little nook and cranny. I mean, it's just a foundation by which you try to organize yourself. So things happen. It's called life. And if you may aspire to have meetings on a regular basis, but sometimes it just won't happen. And we can't legislate every little scenario that might come up.
Thank you. So the motion on the floor is the chair of each committee shall preside over meetings of that committee. If this person is absent, the committee at that time shall determine the person to preside over the meeting as the meeting chair. So that's the motion on the floor. Discussion, Payne?
Okay. Once again, I find this to be, I think that somehow we need to make sure that we're stagnating the meetings so that others can attend. Because if you have 2 individuals in a meeting, and so then will there still be a meeting with 1 person? Should not be.
I hear what you're saying, but the motion is just asking if Commissioner Williams is the chair and he is not there, then it would, and there were 2 other people, you and Commissioner Killian, y'all would decide at that time who would then be the chair over the
Right.
meeting. So that is what we're deciding right now. If you would like to add language for those other things about stagnating meetings and stuff, we can do that. But right now, this is the specific thing that we're talking about.
So we're going to make sure that there's more than 2 people on the committee.
I don't think we can do that, unless you want me to start forcing people to do it, and you just said you wanted me to allow people to decide if they wanted to or not.
Well, I don't know how you're going to meet with 2 people, but
Commissioner Williams.
We just agreed to use the latest revised version of Robert's Rules of Order, which also talks about quorums and meeting attendance and et cetera, et cetera. So by adopting that as the general rubric, we've kind of clarified all those additional steps.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All right, I will call for the vote.
Williams,
Yes.
Ibarra,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Turpin.
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you. The following conduct rules are required of each commissioner during every commission meeting, whether a full commission meeting, committee meeting, or other meeting. Only one person shall speak at a time once recognized by the meeting chair. The meeting chair shall maintain complete impartiality in exercising his or her duties while presiding over the meeting to all commissioners and for all points of views expressed. For a commissioner to speak, the commissioner shall raise his or her hand and be recognized by the chair or acting chair. The meeting chair shall maintain the order of persons to speak. All commissioners must observe decorum and civility at all commission meetings. Commissioners shall address each other through the meeting chair and with respect and dignity. No commissioner shall make a negative comment or gesture towards another commissioner. No commissioner shall interrupt other commissioners while speaking except for a point of order or a point of information made with the permission of the meeting chair. Commissioners shall refrain from outbursts or any public, verbal, nonverbal, or physical reactions while other commissioners are speaking, regardless of whether the public reaction is in support of or in opposition to a colleague's point of view. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Payne, second by Killian. Discussion?
B actually is what I was trying to relate from all of the things. They spell out what the expectations are, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what is expected. So this is more of a rules, when you put down what the rules are rather than just saying one sentence and not putting down the expectations. I don't
Thank
know.
you. I just need some clarification on 2, the meeting chair, like, what that mean? I just need some clarification. I can't be objective of anything.
I can't agree with,
No.
just partial, impartial about things that come up.
Commissioner Williams?
Yeah, it speaks to the fact that you have to run the meeting with fairness, meaning that even if you disagree with the person's point, like I'll use myself for example, if you disagree with Commissioner Williams, you still have to recognize me in the normal course of action. So you can't silence a majority of or a sub-majority of the commissioners.
Okay.
So even though you're sitting up there, you still have a vote. You still have to figure out what you're going to vote on or what you're going to support. But as a body, everybody has to be recognized according to the other rules.
Okay.
So you can't just free somebody out just because you don't like their point of view.
Thank you. So I cannot use my power to harm or silence anybody. Okay, but I can still have an opinion. Okay. Thank you. Any other discussion? I call for the vote.
Ibarra,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Turpin,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you. Meeting conduct of the public. Each commission meeting will include a period for public comment. The members of the public are encouraged to speak and voice their opinion to the commission during the public comment portion of the meeting agenda or when otherwise invited to speak by the meeting chair. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes per person who wish to speak. No member of the public shall act in a way which disrupts the meeting process. The public must refrain from speaking or making any loud noise to be heard by others in the room beyond the persons more than 2 feet away. making excessive motions which distract others in the room, and any other conduct that distracts those in the room. The meeting chair shall exercise her discretion to deal with members of the public who speak or act to distract the process of the meeting, including immediately recessing the meeting for a period of time or having the disrupting person removed.
I move.
Second.
Moved by Williams, second by Payne. Discussion? I just have a question. We're gonna do 3 minutes. Don't nobody come. But I know at the council meeting, they be going off on people. So are we good with 3 minutes? Okay.
I would just add, because we may have somebody that comes to speak, that's like a former charter commissioner or somebody, just putting a phrase in the bottom that says, the chair has the levity to give somebody more time. Because if they're making a valid point, then they may need to be able to speak, because we don't have anything for special presentation or anything in here.
Can you amend your motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like for it to be, not to be put in there, but just to do as the chair pleases. It's your meeting.
All right, so did you want
3
to make a
minutes.
motion?
I really kind of want to poll the body to see if we need it in there or if we can just have a general understanding of that.
Yeah, it's a good point because obviously some people come to the table with information that could be beneficial. And the chances of their time being restricted because of a plethora of others wanting to speak are not likely. So I think the chair has a discretion to allow them to continue on. And this is just basically to allow a certain amount of order. But the chances are that if someone has that interest in subject matter to bring to the table, then by all means, we need to hear what they have to say. And you have the power to say yes or no.
So are you advocating for writing it down or just
No,
saying
you don't
that?
need to write it down. You can use your gut.
Okay. Commissioner Barra?
I agree. Yeah, I trust your judgment.
All right. Oh, Commissioner Killian?
I think it should stay to 3 minutes, but with exceptions and I think that's what everybody was saying. You know, if we do have an attorney or someone else that has more information, and that's presented, then we should just say, okay, that's the exception to the 3 minutes.
No, I think we all agree on that. I think the question was, do we write that in or do we just assume that I have the discretion and we'll use it appropriately?
I think it should be written in.
Okay.
I don't think it needs to be written.
I
I
mean,
think we can move on.
So did you want to amend your motion or are you okay with going forward?
I'm okay with going forward as long as we get the understanding. I'm okay with that.
All right. So the current motion is to keep the language as is. It was moved by Williams and second by Payne. I'll call for the vote.
Killian,
No,
Payne,
yes.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Turpin,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ibarra.
Yes.
5-1.
Quorum and voting. The quorum shall consist of at least 5 commissioners being present. A quorum must be present for official business to be conducted, and the session of the commission shall be in public. In the event that a quorum is lost during the meeting, no further official business requiring a quorum may be conducted after such quorum is lost.
So move.
Okay, it was moved by Payne. Second. Don't you have to do that to have a discussion?
Second and discussion.
I'll second it.
Okay. Williams, second by Williams. Discussion, Williams?
Yeah, I just wanted to, I agree with this whole statement. I was just wanting to figure out if we do have another pandemic or something that's happening, do we give ourselves the flexibility to meet via other options other than coming in a physical space?
I'm gonna ask the clerk. I think it has to be,
State.
designated by the state in order for us to be able to do that.
That is correct, Madam Chair. Right. It was the reason why you were able to meet, well, why we're able to meet virtually was due to the pandemic. So,
Okay, so it has to just be a state mandated thing in order for that to happen?
yes.
Okay. I just wanted to kind of put that in phase, because when monkeypox or whatever comes next, I don't necessarily want to that together.
But that's not something we can decide, right? It has to be decided by the state.
Correct.
I agree, but I that's just the rule. All right, it's been moved by Payne and supported by Williams. Any other discussion?
Oh, no.
Payne?
Is that the quorum?
Yes, quorum.
Oh, no, no
Okay,
discussion.
I call for the vote, please.
Killian,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Turpin,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ibarra.
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you. Voting. Voting shall be by all members and by roll call. All matters before the commission shall be passed by a majority of the commissioners entitled to vote. Moved by Killian,
I'll support.
support by Williams. Discussion? Payne?
Voting, should we say voting yay or nay or abstain, or no? Just leave it as is?
It just says,
Everyone knows that they can say no or say yes or abstain, right?
yes.
Okay.
Any other discussion? I call for the vote.
Killian,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Turpin,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ibarra.
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you. Amendments. Any commissioner may make a request for an amendment to these rules. The proposed amendment may be considered at any regular or special meetings. Amendment shall be approved by a 2/3 vote of those present.
So moved.
Moved by Payne,
Support.
support by Ibarra. Any discussion?
Question.
Payne?
So that 2/3 of what we have, is that like going to be 5 votes?
Well, today we only have 5 people, so if someone wanted to make a revision, it would be 6. We have 6. Thank you. It would be 2/3 of the
Oh, okay.
commissioners that we currently have.
Okay. Okay.
Chair Ramsey.
Yeah.
Is that just considered a supermajority, or is 2/3 and supermajority two different things?
I think it's just 2/3.
Copy that.
A supermajority, it may be. Don't have me going back to
Yeah, I had
school.
questions that
Here.
majority or 2/3.
Let's see.
Madam Chair, a supermajority would be 2/3 of the entire body.
And not just those present.
Present, correct.
Thanks, E. We need to, that's why we keep him around. Thank you, sir. That's amazing. Any other discussion? I call for the vote.
Payne,
Yes.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Turpin,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ibarra,
Yes.
Killian.
Yes.
6-0.
All right, we are now at public comment.
No public comment.
All right. One question before we go. Would the commission like at the end of each meeting to have an opportunity to give a closing comment at that time?
That would be you.
Payne?
Madam Chair, well, I'll let your question be answered first. I think that's kind of up to you as the chair. Am I right or am I wrong?
I mean, I would like people's feedback.
I guess Chair Ramsey, we can determine that based on if somebody has something to say upon request, maybe if they can approach you. Would we have that opportunity if we came up to you and asked? Not necessarily, basically giving them the platform every time we meet, but rather than asking you to to receive that platform at the end?
Well, I think it would have to be a part of the agenda, like closing comments. I think if people, so I asked that because let's say we had a heated discussion on a topic. And I was saying no adamantly, and Commissioner Williams was saying yes adamantly. I think we would both want for the public to understand that, and understand our reasoning behind that. But if we don't want it, we don't have to have it. But if we do, then we would have to change how the format of the agenda to include that. And so I just wanted to ask that. Any thoughts about that? Okay.
I think you should implement it, keep it open and ask, which should be if any comments. And if we don't have any, we close.
Okay.
You don't have to talk if you don't have anything to say.
Yeah. But, just to have the opportunity.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I was just going to say it doesn't have to be in writing, just if you have public comments, once you finish public comments, and then you say any comments from our commissioners, and then that'll be done with.
I think it does have to be on the agenda.
And then we can
correct?
volunteer. It's not on any of the,
It doesn't have to be?
it's not on any other agendas on the other committees in the city
Okay. It wasn't on the
that I was
council?
on, that I was
It's on the
on.
council.
Yeah, that's what I was
Council, but
thinking.
not,
It is.
yours is not a committee, it's a city council.
Well, it's the charter. I just wanted if people wanted the opportunity, if commissioners wanted the opportunity after we were done to be able to speak, I wanted to give individuals that. Clerk?
Madam Chair, so we can just add it to the agenda, closing comments, and kind of how Commissioner Killian said, if nobody has any closing comments, then there are no, comments.
Thank you. Commissioner Payne?
Yes, I wanted to finish your question, but I wanted to also ask, if we have public comment and the person doesn't have the opportunity to put their name on the agenda for a public comment, would we open it to the public that's here or no?
I would say no. I would
No?
say they need to
Okay.
follow the procedure
Okay,
of signing up.
that's just a question. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, with that, I call for an adjournment. Do we need to vote on the adjournment? Is it necessary?
We'll do it by
Okay.
voice.
If you're going by Robert rules, but that's why you go consensus and Robert rules.
Okay, well, we said Robert's rule, so if that's what they say, then we gon' vote to
We
adjourn the
should
meeting.
add consensus as,
Motion to adjourn or meeting.
as,
Support.
All right, so it's been moved by Killian, supported by Ibarra.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Turpin,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ibarra,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Payne.
yes.
That's 6-0. Meeting adjourned.
At 7:10. Thank you.
Oh,
Man, it's hot here.
Mr.
What
Clerk.
y'all talking
I put that thing, I put it on the 72.